The year is 2005. John Cena is the WWE Champion. 50 Cent just dropped The Massacre, and car culture is at its peak. In this time period, it didn't matter what house you had, what jewelry you had. What mattered was what you were driving and what rims you were rolling on. Car culture in the 2000s was all about custom cars. If you didn't have 24-inch dubs, you were lame. Rockstar Games had an ongoing street racing series titled The Midnight Club, and they were gearing up to drop the 3rd edition to the series. In previous Midnight Club titles, it was pretty bare bones with no customization. So on Midnight Club 3, they collabed with Dub to give us Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition. In 2006, they followed up on what was already a massive success in Midnight Club 3 with the remix version, which added more vehicles to the game. The city of Tokyo was introduced with the Tokyo Challenges and more songs on the soundtrack. They even made the game cheaper, taking it into consideration that fans already bought the regular edition of the game a year previously. For those who lived through this time period, you know why this game was legendary. For those who didn't, you're about to find out why Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition is one of the greatest street racing games of all time. You begin your journey in San Diego, meeting Oscar the mechanic of 619 Customs. Oscar guides you through the beginning stages of the game by giving you tips and info about races. You start out by having a choice between 6 cars: a 6.4 Impala, 78 Monte Carlo, 2004 Dodge Neon SRT4, 2004 Mitsubishi Eclipse, Volkswagen Golf R32, and a Volkswagen Jetta. The remix version adds the option to choose a Scion TC. Once you pick your car, you're off to the races. Unlike newer games where you buy in-game money with real-life money to buy your way through the game, you actually have to unlock everything by simply doing races. Throughout the game, you challenge other street racers who have their own signature cars. With each racer you beat, you get further into the story. Beating each racer also unlocks an invitation to challenge a racing club that the rival racer is a part of. For example, Vanessa unlocks the Unbeatable Street Racers, which is for the tuner cars. Bishop unlocks the Luxury Roller, which is for luxury sedans. After you've defeated all the races in San Diego, you're introduced to Vince, who tells you there are big races in Atlanta. So boom, now you're in Atlanta. You arrive in a garage called the Apone Team Racing Garage. After defeating more street racers, you arrive in Detroit. You meet with Vince yet again. He says that whatever car club turns out the best street racer wins a Lamborghini Murcielago. At this point, you race all the drivers twice, and when you defeat them, you're crowned a winner of the US Champion Series. You return to Vince's, and you are rewarded with the Lamborghini Murcielago. This career mode was actually enjoyable, especially from a racing game. Unlike today's Need for Speed games with corny storylines, Midnight Club 3's made sense. Sure, they could have done much more than what they did, but for its category, it's one of the best career modes in a racing game of all time. This is where it gets real good. Let's start with the vehicles, because, my god, with over 60 vehicles to choose from, you have all categories such as tuners, muscle cars, classic muscle cars, lowriders, luxury cars, SUVs and trucks, choppers, sports bikes, and exotic concept cars. This game had it all, but the cherry on top of that was the customization. Hands down, the most in-depth car customization in a racing game to date. You can literally do everything to the car. Literally everything. From the paint to colored window tints, a huge variety of rims, including spinners, which were so popular at the time, the trim of the car, the color of the nitrous. You can even change the color on the exhaust pipes. Are you kidding me? Vinyls with the ability to change it to whatever color you want, license plates, decals, badges, bumpers, the grille of the car. You can even trim the top of the car. You could change the hood, you could change the size of the rims, which depending on your car class can go up to 28 inches big. The tire width and the tire profile, you can change the ride height, the color of your rims, and even the color of the brake calipers. Like, bro, how can you top this? You could change the taillights and the material on the taillights. You could put neon on your car with the new option to make it flash. The performance upgrades were insane. You had the brakes, tires, chassis, transmission, suspension, nitrous obviously. The engine upgrades had the ability to change the computer. Like, what? Easily the most in-depth car customization in a racing game ever. Period. Just look how you can completely transform the look of your car. This game was so perfect for the era it was released in. Man, do I miss the 2000s. The gameplay. Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition was by no means necessarily a racing sim. It was an arcade racing game, which is fine. Racing sim wasn't a popular genre in this generation at all. It's good to have some fun arcade racing. The races can get very challenging at times, but this is back when AI in video games was smart, because online wasn't a focus, so game companies had to make sure the consumer was entertained with single player. There are 3 special abilities. Aggro is only available for SUVs, trucks, and luxury sedans. It gives you the ability to hit cars with no impact on your vehicle. Roar, which is only available for choppers and muscle cars, gives you the ability to produce a shockwave that pushes traffic and other racers out of the way. The last one is Zone, which is only available for sport bikes and exotics. It gives you the ability to go in slow motion for a few seconds to allow you to maneuver better. Basically, Franklin from GTA 5 special ability. You also have the slipstream feature. When behind a racer, the bar on the right builds up and you are given a boost when you activate it. The police also interfere in races, giving it that authentic street racing feel. Overall, the gameplay is amazing and tons of fun. No complaints at all in this category. When we speak of great soundtracks from video games, past or present, you have to mention Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition. You want to talk about soundtracks fitting a game like a glove? Look no further than Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition. You have some rock songs, some pop songs, and some rap songs. Hip-hop was in a good state at the time this game dropped. You had rappers talking about cars a lot of the time. Like I said before, rappers didn't flex jewelry all that much. They flexed cars. Most rap songs from this era were literally made to play in your car. I love this soundtrack so much. It put me on a lot of new songs. Some I even still listen to this day. Easily in my top 5 for soundtracks in any video games ever. I link the soundtrack in the description below, so if you feel like listening to a flawless soundtrack, be my guest. Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition featured an online mode allowing players to race from around the world. You can start and manage your very own racing club or join one. You had the ability to chat in gameplay, and new game modes were introduced, such as Cruise Mode, Capture the Flag. You had Ordered Racing Online, Unordered Racing, Tag, Paint, and Autocross. The online mode was tons of fun, especially for a game that came out in 2005, like goddamn. But we're talking about Rockstar games in their prime, so I'm not surprised. Overall, online mode hit every point it was trying to make, further enhancing the amazing experience that already was Midnight Club 3. There's a reason IGN gave this game a 9.2 out of 10 rating, because it was simply a timeless masterpiece. I recently hopped back on it to record footage for this video, and I'm back hooked on it. If you're a car guy or a fan of racing games, you will appreciate this game. It hit all points. For me, this is easily my favorite racing game of all time. I wish Rockstar Games never ended the Midnight Club series, but let's face it, it would probably be met with paywalls these days. That's why we have the classics to go back to. Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition was not only a product of the 2000s, but also a cultural classic. It replicated the car scene at that time perfectly. As a kid in the 2000s, who didn't want an Escalade with 26-inch spinners? This game set a bar so high that racing games of today haven't even come close to matching. Sure, we have brilliant sim racing games that are far more realistic, but at the end of the day, it's a video game. While I appreciate sim racing games, at the end of the day, we all play video games to have fun, and Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition provided us with endless fun.